take one.
Yes, I'll take one, Ash.
Deal.
Oh man, I forget how to do it again, Whitney. How do I do links?
There's a thing in the bottom right, and there's gonna say a YouTube link.
Yeah.
That's the link you want to copy.
Oh God, come on. All right, hold on, guys. Having some technical difficulties. Got it.
Oh, while she's figuring that out, Joy, you're such a great picture. Fuck yeah.
Thank you.
I had to watch footage to do my research. Wow.
All right, you guys. I'm posting it on all the Facebook pages. I just did it on women's. I'm posting it on the circuit one now. Ashley, I don't know if you saw, but the Astros just scored.
I know. I was dancing as you were saying that.
No. Wow. Still early. All right, posted in that one. And for wherever Josh Arangas is, they're posted on all 3 pages. All right, you guys. Welcome to the first of 2 CCC 2017 Pillow Talk Podcast. It's very exciting. We have Whitney, Kay, Joy, Danny, Ashley, and myself representing the women's tournament. So if you guys can just say your name so everyone knows what you look like and what team you're going to be representing on the women's side, that will be a great way to start. I'm Macy. I'll be playing with Sins. And Ashley, let's start with you.
I'm Ashley. I'll be playing with Lisa Frank.
Awesome. Danny.
Sorry. I'm Danny. I will not be playing, but I represent High Beams.
Okay, cool. Do you want to tell the world why you're not playing?
Like 22 weeks pregnant today.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Joy?
Hey, I'm Joy. I represent Shots Fired.
All right. Kay?
I'm Kay, and I represent the wildfire in Colorado.
And Whitney.
Hey, I'm Whitney. I represent Mile High Club, and I'm also representing today, being a lesbian. So, all the above.
Very embarrassing. I don't know what to say right now. All right, guys. Well, we have a first for the Pillow Talk podcast, and that is we are revealing the pools. So all we know right now are there are 4 pools, 3 pools of 6 and 1 pool of 5. And our top 4 seeds are already listed for the first pool, and the number 1 seed and number 1 women's team this year, Shots Fired. And for the second one, we have Sins. Third, we have Unleashed. And 4th, we have Mile High Club. We're going to be revealing the pools not in any particular order. But we are going to be going one at a time and then talking about it a little as we go. So, Whitney, if you want to just pick a color and a number that you see on the board for a reveal, I'm going to go ahead and take it off.
Color and a number. So, green.
Green and a number? 1 through 4?
3.
Green 3. So, in Pool C with Unleashed, we have Life's a Pitch. Okay, color and a number.
I'm going 4 red.
4 red, that's in Pool D with Mile High, and that's Pinot Gris Gris. Joy, color and a number. Joy.
Who's it on, me? Okay. 2 and blue.
2 blue, Insins Pool. Real Tight from Oklahoma City. Danny, color and a number.
Yellow. Yeah, yellow and 2.
2 yellow with Sins. Your very own High Beams. And Ashley, color and a number.
All right, I'll do 1 purple.
1 purple with shots fired. We've got the Bombshells from Florida.
Wow.
Joy, go ahead. Color and a number.
All right. Green 1.
Green 1, also with Bombshells and shots fired, is Haboobs. My BFF Alicia. Whitney, color and a number.
Yellow 3.
Yellow 3 with Unleashed and Life's a Pitch. We've got the Flying VJs. Ashley, another color and a number.
I'm gonna stick with purple 4.
Purple 4 with Mile High and Pinot Gris Gris is Lisa Frank. You also got your very own. Danny, another color and a number.
Sorry. Yellow 4.
Yellow 4 with Mile High, Lisa Frank, and Pinot Gris Gris, the Union. Okay, color and a number.
Let's go with green. Is that 3 or 4? I mean the 2. Sorry.
2. With Sins, High Beams, Real Tight, we have the Bettys, also from Southern California. Whitney, another color and a number.
Yellow 1.
Yellow 1 with shots fired, Bombshells, and Haboobs. We have DMV 18. Danny, another color and a number. We're almost there.
Oh, did you say me? Sorry.
Yeah.
I can't see. What's the bottom color?
Blue.
Oh, okay. Blue 5.
This one?
Yeah.
All right. With Unleashed, VJ's, Life's a Pitch, we have 512 Bam Nation. Okay, another color and a number. We're almost done.
Let's go red 2.
All right. Sins, High Beams, Betty's, Real Tight, and the Vajangles. Joy, color and a number.
Green. Is that green or blue? Blue 1.
Blue 1. In Pool A, we have the Darkwing Ducks. Okay, color and a number.
Red 3.
With Unleashed, DJs, Life's a Pitch, 512 Bam Nation, and Ish from Virginia Beach. Ashley.
Let's do green 4.
All right, last one, the Plastics. We got 3 left on the board, Whit.
What's that color? Is that pink?
The last pink. This is purple.
Do purple 4. 3. I don't know.
All right, last one in Pool C. We've got Colorado Wildfire. Danny, you get to make the last choice.
Purple 2.
All right, last one here. All in, which means Pool 1 has the remix joining them. So in Pool 1, we have Shots Fired, DMV 18, the Bombshells, Haboobs, the remix, and Darkwing Ducks. Pool 2, we have Sins, High Beams, All In, Betty's, Vajangles, and Real Tight. Pool 3, we have Unleashed, Flying VJs, Colorado Wildfire, Life's a Pitch, Ish, 512 Bam Nation. And then finally, the last pool, we have Mile High, the Union, Lisa Frank, the Plastics, and Pinot Gris Gris. That is it for your pool reveals for the women's CCC tournament coming up in just a week and a half now. And ladies, initially looking at this, what are your thoughts?
No one has an easy pool.
Nope.
No.
Yeah, it's pretty evenly distributed.
Any surprises or any matchups that you think might be really close or help get one of these middle to lower ranked teams going into it, or lower bin teams? Maybe
A little surprised we're not with Sins. We always play you.
True, I know.
Feeling good about that.
Sorry, not this time.
I think Pool D is gonna mess up some people.
It's gonna mess. Anyone in particular?
I don't know, but those are gonna be some good games. Lisa Frank has been improving all year. Classic, when they're on, they play good, and we already know what Mile High and Union do. Like that's gonna be. I would say that's the toughest pool just by looking at it.
Interesting. There's a lot going on. Anyone else?
For Bombshell's remix game? I think that would be an awesome game to watch. Yeah. I feel like Remix is kind of making some moves, and I would love to see that again. I think that's going to be a fun one.
All right, cool. Bombshells and Remix in Pool A. Any other matchups you guys are excited about, or any kind of these middle, lower teams that might give one of the top seeds a run for their money in pool play?
I think Pool C actually is kind of deep because you've got Unleashed, who's great. You got VJs, who on any given day is great. You got Colorado Wildfire up and coming. Life's a Pitch. Mile High actually played them in Atlanta, and they've got a really good catcher and a good charger. So I don't know that pool. And then you still have Ish. I mean, I think Ish. You got Allie, but yeah, I think that pool's gonna beat up on each other. That's gonna. I think to me on paper that one looks like the toughest pool. It's also weird seeing, Union and a Ben 2 team and Bombshells and a Ben 3 team. So all of it looks, all of them are tough. But yeah, I think that Pool C is definitely interesting.
Any other thoughts about pools?
Have Shots Fired and Bombshells played each other?
I believe.
No, I don't believe so.
Oh, no, you haven't.
I don't think so.
Did y'all play in Jacksonville?
Yeah, one time.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, Jacksonville. And don't forget, in the first 3 pools, you'll skip 1 team each. So top seed doesn't play bottom seed, 2 doesn't play 5, and 3 doesn't play 4. In the last pool 4, each team will play all 4 of the others. Just taking a look at it, Kay, if you had to pick some of your top teams, it could be 4, it could be 8. Are there any standouts to you based on the pools?
I feel like Mile High Club is looking pretty solid on their side. And I feel like your Sins are looking really good. In comparison to, I feel like you've definitely got a tough road, but Sins are looking pretty strong in my opinion, for sure.
Cool. Danny, what do you think taking a look? Some top teams come out of today.
I think even though Bombshells is going to have a hard – because the only team they don't have to lose, they're going to have some hard games. I think they're going to surprise some people in their pool. Of course, I'm going to have to say High Beams is going to dominate that pool. We usually always do good in pool play. That's our strength. Elims, that's another story. But we usually do strong game there. Pool D, I think Lisa Frank is going to surprise some people.
Definitely. I agree there.
I know they work hard, and like I said, they've gotten a lot better over the tournament. And Pool C, I'm going to say Unleashed is going to probably run through that pool.
Awesome. Ashley, any other thoughts?
I mean, Danny said a lot of the things that I, coming into this wanted to say, just that, coming from CCC last year to sort of where we are moving into CCC this year, I feel like Lisa Frank has grown so much as a team. We beat you guys in Denver. Unfortunately, I wasn't playing, but, I was nominated for, one of the games of the year. And, we're just one of those teams. I mean, shoot, we're bringing like 19 people. Like, we're going to be running deep to keep everyone fresh. So, honestly, I know Pool D is going to be tough. We've had tough games against the Plastics. Obviously, we've had tough games against Mile High. I don't know that we've played the Union this year or Pinot Gris. Looking at Pool C, I feel like Wildfire is in that same sort of level that we are, and that every tournament, I feel like they just keep getting better. And I really think that they're going to give both VJs – I think they're going to give both VJs and Unleashed a run for their money. Pool B, I'm going to have to go Sins or High Beams. Like Danny said, High Beams always brings a great team, but at the same time, so does Sins. I think that's going to be the game to watch out of Pool B. And Pool A, I know DMV 18 didn't bring a full squad to Atlanta, but I don't think that means anyone should count them out. Obviously, Bombshells is got a heavy hitters and shots fired, like nothing needs to be said. Like
True.
You didn't ask, but my money would be for shots fired to take the whole thing without a doubt.
You guys have been crushing it this season, so for sure.
Well, Joy, tell us what you think representing shots fired. What do you see coming out of here?
I think the top 4 definitely move on. I think DMV may get out. Also, Pool A. I think so many people are coming short to CCC. I've never seen anything like this where teams are coming with 10 and 11 and 12. I think only like 8 or 9 teams actually are coming with over 15. And I think for a CCC, that's kind of what you need to be able to have fresh legs going into those last games, to be able to rest your pitchers for certain games. I think Pool C is going to pose a problem for a couple teams in there. And you might even see a team like Colorado Wildfire make it out. I mean, honestly, and I think they're up and coming, but on paper, I would say a VJ's is a better team, but I think momentum is everything. Taking it all, I mean, of course, I got to ride with us. We're having an awesome season. I mean, I think everybody's playing like pretty much at their peak. We gelled really well, really fast, and I'm just sad we couldn't make more tournaments.
Yeah. Whitney, you're the last one. Any thoughts?
Yeah, no. I mean, I think Mile High Club Union. God, I feel like regardless if I'm availables or Mile High, we end up in Union's full. But love playing Union and those girls. It's always a good matchup. Yeah, LFK, they played us well in Atlanta, so I expect them. I mean, I would predict them to beat Plastics and Pinot Grigri. I do think for Pool C, I think Unleash comes out of that one for sure. I think the VJ's Colorado Wildfire will be a good game. That I would guess within a point or two. VJ's does have Brett coaching again. I know he hasn't been there, coaching for them all year. So I think that brings another level of coaching that he provides. I do think Unleash and VJ's get out of there, and I think Colorado Wildfire will too. I don't want to sleep on All In though. Nobody, even last year, they won the whole tournament and nobody really knew who they were. So I know they haven't had a great run this year. I don't know that they've had all their players at every tournament. They do have their Charger this year coming. I think she was in Atlanta too, but I'm still not sleeping on them. I think Sens will do well. Yeah, I think it's all the bin 1 through 3 teams all have opportunities to make it out.
Cool. Yeah, I agree with most of what you guys said. Danny, I would love to trade you with, or we should combine forces because we always struggle in pool play and can't pick it up until elimination. So maybe we can meet in the middle somewhere. Okay, you guys, next week we are having another podcast to talk a little bit more about the specific matchups and where the teams are going. But since you guys do all represent one team that's coming to CCC, if you had to give your 30-second elevator speech about what your team is bringing and why you're a contender for taking home the championship tournament this season, what that would be. For example, if I was representing, or I'm representing Sins and I'm coming into CCC, my argument might be that we crumble early but usually can pick up steam. And I think we had a heartbreaker with an accuracy kick loss in the semis last year. And if anything, that's motivation to go in this year and have another run at the whole thing. And Ashley, what do you say about Lisa Frank?
We've come a long way. I think that as a team, we've matured a lot, and we've now just played together a little bit longer. For the most part, the majority of our team is pretty young. So everyone is, still very hungry. They don't have the 365 experience necessarily, but, I am one of the couple of out-of-towners on our team, and the girls on my team are practicing multiple nights a week. They're out there really putting the time in. Like I said, we're bringing a deep squad. We're bringing 19 players. And it'll keep people fresh. We picked up a couple of people with the collapse of Empire, and I think that that's definitely going to help us, some pieces that we were missing. And yeah, I think that just with the ability to sub as much as we will, people are going to stay fresh. People aren't going to get as tired, and it's just going to keep us stronger throughout the day. And, you know, we're hoping to get a good seed and make it out of pool play and, you know, make some stuff happen.
All right. Joy, coming in probably as the favorites, at least according to rankings and buzz and how many tournaments have been won this year. What's your 30-second speech about Shots Fired?
Shots Fired, I'll say, is an awesome squad. I mean, the best team by far I've ever played on. It actually feels a lot like an availables team, so I'm really lucky to have one of the best back catchers in the game, best charger, great first baseman. I mean, we just have awesome positions all the way around that makes it easy. I mean, we have speed, depth, all of that helps in the long run. And more important, I think, than any of that, we have the experience of being in tons of big games. Like, all of our players across the board have been in multiple championship games, and the pressure is not what it would be for a new up-and-coming team. So a lot of times teams get down on themselves when they get down early. We have that never out of it mentality. I mean, I don't care, like the Union game, you go up 4, we're coming back. It doesn't really matter. So I think that helps us push through a lot of tough games.
I like it. Everyone's going to get a chance to say something, but Joy brought up a lot of positions that we get to talk about a lot. That triangle with these, I know everyone else says chargers. We call them crashers on the West Coast, but chargers, catchers, pitchers, maybe even some of your outfielders, these positions that are talked about a lot, and some of them we don't talk a lot about are shortstops, outfielders that don't get mentioned, second base, even first base. I want to know who you guys have played with or against that run some of these positions that you really think do a great job of it and how they affect the game. And you guys can just jump in.
Well, I played with Whitney before when she plays second, and I can't even imagine just what it must be like as a team to be able to put such a valuable player at what some might consider a somewhat sometimes useful and maybe less useful position. But I think Whitney is just like exemplifies just like some pretty stellar skill for a position that doesn't get a ton of play. But when the plays matter, like having the clutch player there is really important for sure.
Thanks.
Other
Yeah, for me, I mean, I think just some players I've played with on availables and even that are on my team. I mean, I think for Mile High, you know, specifically one of the players that stands out to me is Kristen. She plays a lot of utility stuff for Mile High, and she was been a starting charger for other teams. And she plays, right field for us, in crunch time. And she's got an arm, and she's made some incredible plays in the outfield. I've also played, with Alicia, Macy's best friend in Virginia Beach, and she ended up coming up in as a sub and made a crucial play at second base against that Shots Bomb Unleashed team. I've seen Erin off of Sins. Didn't get to play with her until San Diego, and watching her play left field, I know she leads off for Sins. I think she's one of the kind of overlooked players in women's kickball. I think that you guys are having that player is valuable for Sins. Yeah, those are just some of the top players I think from that don't usually get recognized that I think do a really good job.
Cool.
If I could retort one more thing, I know Lisa Frank has a really solid second, like shortstop kind of inside charger rotation, and I know they have the ability to like maneuver their players to really like put them in key positions. Obviously, you can speak more to this, but I definitely have noticed how well you guys really kind of manage that inside zone for sure.
I want to make a shout out to some outfielders too that, same deal. I don't think that they get enough recognition. Latrice on Shots Fired. I mean, you kick a ball towards her, and I mean, girl's got some short legs, but she can move them, and she gets to the damn ball. There was someone else that I wanted to shout out to, but I'm not remembering. But I just wanted to say that, it's the same thing with outfielders. If you, and Joy probably can speak more to this just as a pitcher in general, you feel a little more comfortable if the count isn't quite what you want it, maybe giving up more of a an easier pitch when you know that your outfield is going to get that ball.
True.
Any other players in positions that we don't always talk about that you guys want to mention?
I got to give it up to my girl Tiff on Wildfire. She can cover so much ground. She's really starting to come into her own at right field too. And it's so fun to see as a left fielder just how much she's really grown, and definitely not a ton of glory, but when the catches matter, she's really on it, which is awesome. Can't wait to bring her.
I love it.
As I look through my lineups that I wrote out here, I think Vajangles has a lot of talent on their team. We haven't seen them a lot this year, and they are in a really tough pool. But, I mean, when you have Bonnie Foley, you have Shawnee Wallace in the outfield, or, and I know Bonnie comes in and will play like a shortstop or a rover. Again, those are two people that if the ball is kicked anywhere in their general vicinity, they're going to get it. Shawnee is one of those people that if I kick it and it's in her general direction, I'm like, well, I might as well not even go to first base. So
I feel that way about Mandy on VJs. I think she's an incredible outfielder, and I know sometimes even gets pulled in and can cover second base extremely well. And same with Molly, who just went over to Bombshells. I think they have her playing shortstop. She can cover a lot of ground, get there quickly, and make some great plays. I don't want to cut anyone off, but if you don't have anyone else to mention, Danny, you're up for your 30-second spiel on your team taking CCC.
Okay, yeah. So, High Beams, I mean, I know, probably a lot of people are like, oh, High Beams is going to be mediocre since I won't be there. But I think one of the things that has made High Beams successful is that a lot of people have always slept on us, and they don't either, or they might claim that they played down to us or that we are suck. I've heard people tell us that our pitchers suck and we suck and all this and we drink too much. We have fun, but I think that's the thing that separates us. We, unlike some of you guys, we don't practice at all, ever. Most of the girls, I mean, they practice how many shots they can take and how many beers they can get back, but that's about it. And I think that's one of the things that really makes our team different. But at the same time, we are very smart when we play. We don't throw the ball around a lot. When people are running the bases, we are able to stop those plays before they happen because we're just very smart players, even though we also are an older team. We're probably the oldest person in kickball. Sorry, Karen, still love you. Playing kickball right now. And, I mean, we're not, full of, all these young people or anything like that. We're, those subpar athletes that came together and have fun and like each other and end up somehow last year we made the Final Four. So that's why I think we'll dominate because, like I said, people will sleep on us and they'll think, oh, Danny's not there, so we're going to do this. And I'm still going to surprise you no matter what. And there's still some days left for me to register, so you never know.
Watch out. I know you're still faster than me.
That's what I was going to say. Pregnant Danny can still beat me 10 out of 10.
Whitney, what's your spiel? Mile High, going all the way.
Yeah, kind of like Danny, we don't get to practice together. Sorry, my dog has decided today is the day he barks at everything. So Mile High, we don't get to practice either. As everyone knows, I'm sure we're not an in-region team. So we've done a good job, I think, of picking up new players in kickball this year that is actually, for once, given Mile High a little bit of speed. And so we have those on our team. I think the good thing is we come with experience. We have Tara and Lisa charging, veteran chargers that I still think are top chargers in women's kickball. We got a good pitcher with Shannon. I think she's top notch. We got first baseman locked down with Tay. Got speed with Gabby and experience with Naz at catching. So I think we've got what we need in the pieces. We also have a really good outfield. We didn't come to Atlanta with our full outfield, so I think we have that back. But yeah, I think we've all done a good job of practicing on our own. We do kind of hold each other accountable of, let's go get some bunts in, go get kicks in, practice what you can. Taylor and I are lone souls over here in Northern California, so we don't get to practice with people. But yeah, no, I think we're all motivated. We lost a little bit early to All In last year. We weren't expecting that. So, we've kind of had a chip on our shoulder from that all year. And I think that's, helped us with motivation of being ready to go into CCC. But yeah, we've realized having fun on the sidelines is what I think is why we play kickball. And I think we've gotten back to the fun side and, positive. And I think we'll have a good run. I'm excited to see what we do.
Cool. And Kay, last but not least, you get to give your 30-second spiel on Colorado Wildfire taking it.
Nice. Well, prior to the spiel, Danny, totally disagree. You guys are excellent athletes, and I can totally confirm Lisa practices with us all the time. She's fantastic. I feel like as for Wildfire, we're all here except for Steph, so it's fun because we all hang out. We spend a lot of time together. We definitely get our practices in, but I think above all, we really enjoy each other. I know we're bringing a ton of speed, with Jenna and Tiff at the top of our lineup. I mean, they're just so clutch and coming in with some of the kicks that we've been working on with some of our players. I know that's kind of been some of our weakness in the past, but with some of our ads in Portland with Megan and Whitney, they've really added a really strong dynamic to our team, adding a couple more bunters. And then Lauren's really been working on some of her pitches too, and seeing her strike out a couple of guys in co-ed is also really fun. And as far as Natalie goes, I mean, Natalie is just so great. Her attitude's awesome. I mean, that girl plays with broken fingers. She was on my co-ed team for our draft league and beat a co-ed guys playing Charger. She just dominates. And I mean, I feel like her skill really speaks for itself. And she is just totally kind of brought on such a fun dynamic to our team. And it makes everybody hungry and ready to play. And I feel like we're coming in with a ton of momentum from San Diego and a lot of fun from Las Vegas. And we're ready to show everybody what we have.
Awesome. I love it.
Appreciate it.
Well, I heard a lot of you guys talking about, last year or expectations that people have had of you. And I know a lot of us don't want to go back to it, but at this time last year, there was a ton of talk about regionalization. Some of us thought that our teams weren't going to exist anymore. We weren't going to be able to have enough players. And then this year, when it was implemented, perhaps it looked a little different than we thought it was, but in general, compared to 2016 CCC and then coming in playing for 2017 and now going into CCC this year and all years to come, how do we feel about regionalization? Is it doing what we want it to do? Is it something that doesn't matter at all? Joy, what are your thoughts about it?
Honestly, I don't know how it has affected the amount of teams that are playing, but it did seem this year, and maybe that's just me, that there was the emergence of a ton of availables teams. And maybe that's because I didn't play availables before. I didn't pay attention to that, but it just felt like it was a ton more availables in every tournament. And it feels like it stopped certain teams from maybe being able to get a championship or two, because there were so many good available teams there. And I know for our team, it would matter because we don't have much of a pool in St. Louis to pick up from as far as bunters. We have 9 bunting leagues here. So it's as far as traveling with people, it's so much easier to just pick up somebody and go from another city or, somebody you've played with previously is outside of your region. So, I mean, I know we only made 4 tournaments this year, and to not even have the option to pick up someone outside of here, I would say hurt.
Ashley, what do you think?
So I have to totally disagree. I think looking at the rosters for all the teams, I mean, for the most part, when the regionalization rules first came out, you're right. A lot of people are like, holy F, my team isn't going to exist anymore. They rewrote them, and teams were effectively allowed to stay how they were. It just prevented the picking up of new out-of-region players. Out of the 23 teams going, literally half of the teams. Okay, this is based on the player eligibility tool, which I had a lot of trouble with this afternoon.
Kickball 365. Are you listening?
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, someone's listening and they can fix that. But literally half the teams, based on the player eligibility tool, are 100% in regions. You have a couple of teams like Mile High Club, which is obviously a lot of out-of-region players, and then Lisa Frank. We had only a couple out-of-region players, and then we picked up quite a few more with the dissolving of the Empire. But, in terms of then the team that we are and the team that we're bringing to CCC, I think you saw a lot of teams that were just like, okay, this is the deal, and we're going to make an in-region team that we travel with, and I still want to go to other tournaments. And so, even though Lisa Frank was only able to go to a couple of tournaments, I went to a bunch of others and played availables, same as Joy was saying. I think the way that the rules were rewritten, it did not impact the growth or the ability for people to make teams. And you have quite a few teams that maybe only have 1 or 2 out-of-region players, which really plays into what the original iteration of the rules was, that you would be able to pick up whatever they said, 3 out-of-region players. And, you have teams like Colorado Wildfire, which really did a lot this year. And I think you said that you had 1 out-of-region player?
Yeah, just Steph from Goats.
But she isn't playing with y'all at CCC, is she?
No.
Okay, so she's not on y'all's CCC roster, and because y'all's entire roster for CCC was all in region, and I was like, well, there you go. Like, that's, you guys are a poster child of, okay, regionalization obviously isn't hampering the development of some, players.
Okay, do you want to pick on that?
Well, yeah, that kind of goes back to like my old Mile High Club days, and we started grabbing so many players that I kind of was like super stoked to like, join a new team where I could potentially find a new spot. And being on Wildfire is just so fun because all of us are here. But in addition to that, I feel like without this rule, I don't think Betty's would have been here either. And I feel like this regionalization really like brought on the Betties, which have also been like a pretty strong force. I remember seeing them in Portland, and then that win in San Diego. And I mean, they've just been looking really, really strong. And I know we were really looking forward to playing them. So, but I feel like regionalization definitely brought them on. And I feel like it's just kind of opening it's opening the forum, I think, really bringing, and all the availables teams are all really, really fun to watch too. I know they're really heartbreakers to play sometimes. Thanks, Joy. Nuggets.
Sorry.
Whitney, do you have anything to add about regionalization, what you thought going into this last year and where we're heading into CCC?
I mean, I was super grateful last year that they grandfathered the team, because Mile High wouldn't be a team right now. And I'm at the point, and I think a lot of us are at the point, it's like, I'm not rebuilding. I hate the regional rules. I think, Mile High actually wouldn't be a team if regional rules were in place. Whenever we built the team, it was majority Colorado, but when Lacey Moore, who started it, was trying to build Mile High, she could only get like eight girls from Colorado that wanted to play at the time. So that's when we brought in Tara and Kat, and so we kind of formed based on a non-regional team. And so I think, that plays into some things too. So yeah, I agree. I think, Wildfire has been able to make a team based in regions. But I think, I do think women's kickball is too new to limit, the teams that are being formed. I mean, think about, this is the first year that co-ed has gone through it, but they had enough time to develop and build out their teams and get people into wanting to play. So I still don't like it, but it is what it is. I do think, some teams will die off. I think you're going to have some of the older players and veterans that kind of keep teams together, that are going to start hitting retirement or playing less tournaments. And then what do those players do? The leftover players, I don't know. So I don't like it. I think, when we're spending our own money and buying our own flights, we should be able to play with who we want, but I know that I'm not the only opinion that matters, but that's my opinion.
Well, I asked for yours. Danny, you want to jump in there as well?
Yeah, I might sound a little crazy here, because I was a big person that wanted my team to stay together. But thinking about it, from 23 teams at CCC last year to 23 teams at CCC this year, I mean, can you really say it's grown? I mean, this is the biggest tournament of the year. And I mean, I know I made a post about it, and Jimmy said something it was a few months ago about how I had an opinion that I didn't think women's was growing. Then he said there were so many X amount of teams at a tournament, at these small tournaments, but this is the biggest one of the year. Like, why do we only have 23 teams still? And then that just brings me to what I think is just stupid, that we even were limiting women's teams to begin with. Like, why are we limiting women's when we couldn't even get to 25? Like, why were we gonna stop anybody if we were at 27, 28? Like, I felt like every team should come. Like, why are you discouraging women from coming when your co-ed has 40 teams? And I get it, there's lights and these things and that, whatever. But if you made so much money throughout the years, then let all these women's teams go. So I mean, from a business standpoint, they're probably like, well, maybe we shouldn't have done it. But then at the same time, my team wouldn't have existed. But I think my team would have made something work. Like the Louisiana girls definitely could have formed a team with what they have there. I mean, I think they have, technically our team is Louisiana, so 3 Louisiana teams going. So I think they have the players no matter what. I think the people that don't have a team or wouldn't be able to play just wouldn't. But I still think if they would have made just that these are the regional rules, you can't do it, stay in your region. I think the people that wanted to play would have made it work. And if you didn't want to play, then you get pregnant and then you just sit
All right, now you guys know what to do if you don't want to play. Just get pregnant.
I want to quick build on what Danny was saying because, you know, by the numbers, Mile High, Lisa Frank, and High Beams have the most out-of-region players on their team going to CCC. The rest of the teams, you know, might have 1 or 2. BJ's is close with 4 out-of-region players. But, you know, that being said, it's looking at it by the numbers. It's hard to say that, you know, if the rules were different, would there maybe not be, you know, another Texas team? There technically are 2 women's teams from Texas, Vajangles, which has no out-of-region players, 512 Bam Nation, which has no out-of-region players, and there's certainly enough Texas girls between Mile High and Lisa Frank that we could practically form another team. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's one of those things where, like Danny said, if people want to travel, they're going to travel regardless of what the rule changes are.
I mean, I want everybody to get to play, but this might be the push to make more teams. You never know. But I would love it if everybody could still play, but I don't know.
Absolutely. Well, I know Danny brought up a little bit of the co-ed side, which is my attempt at a transition for bringing this into Marry, Fuck, Kill. And so I just want to go into this and remind everyone that Whitney was actually the host of these podcasts, and she coerced me into hosting them. And my least favorite part every time is this Marry, Fuck, Kill. Also, my boyfriend's literally sitting like right across from he's watching the Dodgers, but it's fine. So I think I posted that I do get a lot of requests from boys who want to be up to be picked. I don't always choose them because I'm like worried if their feelings will get hurt or worried if not everyone knows who they are. But that being said, I chose our first candidate because not only did he request it, he Snapchat friended me and then Snapchat text asking to be on Marry, Fuck, Kill, like 1 a.m. Perhaps alcohol was involved, and because he was so desperate to be on it, I have granted his wish. So our first candidate for Marry, Fuck, Kill is the one and only.
I'm judging.
Worley Leroy.
What?
Oh, really?
Oh, God.
Worley. Your second choice is TJ.
I don't know who that is.
TJ.
TJ's on Cowtown.
No, that's why.
And finally, new resident of Southern California is Javi, standing there with his wife. There's
great choices.
We have to marry, fuck, kill this guy.
Yeah. Javi, TJ,
Has to be on this.
and Worley. All right.
Then I have a question. Did all these people ask to be on?
Not all of them. For this particular one, I would like to make it clear that only Worley requested it. There were other requests that I did not put on this particular podcast. But he requested it by friending me on Snapchat and then sending me a text on Snapchat. Guess what, Kay? You're up first.
I can't believe that. I was hoping I'd be last. All right. Well, since Worley suggested I would fuck Worley, I would marry TJ from Cowtown because everybody from Cowtown is cute. And I would kill Javi. Sorry for his wife.
You don't have to be sorry. It's part of the game. Danny, you're up.
Wait, skip me. I need to.
Oh, you got to think about it? All right. Whitney, moving on to you.
Yeah, I'm killing Javi. A, I don't know him. B, I don't know him. C, I've seen his name as like best punter in the world, but that's all I know of him. I still don't think he's the best punter in the world. Mary, TJ or Worley. The hard one. I'll probably marry Worley just because he likes to kick far, and that's probably the only ball. Yeah, we know I'm not in for my second base skills. And yeah, I guess fucking TJ. He seems like a good time in Vegas, you know. And yeah, I think that's where it is.
Great, thanks. Joy, what do you have?
Ann Worley might have done sent me a Snapchat via Benny's phone one time because
asking to be on Mary Fuck Kill?
No, because he was a really good coach for Virginia Beach, and he did this helicopter thing that guys do. And yeah, he was a really great coach for following up on his bet. So yeah, that's it. Good job, Worley.
I think we all know what the helicopter thing is, but thank you. All right, Joy, you're up.
Game, but let's see.
You can't be bad.
I would marry Javi since he's already married. He probably knows what he's doing in the whole satisfying the marriage nuptial part of it. I'd probably kill TJ because I don't know him. And I guess that just leaves me fucking Worley. And I guess if he's sending 1 a.m. text, then he's pretty desperate. No. He's joking, Worley, just joking. No, he's an awesome guy. And we won a ship together, so all of it.
I like it. Ashley.
So I don't know what's Javi's last name?
Something with a P.
Okay, so one of the guys on my team has a total man crush on him, and I will leave his name out of this, and I'll tell you ladies later. So based on that and just the general shit talking on our team, I think that I would have to I'd probably also have to marry Javi because he is married, and like Joy said, he probably has that whole bit figured out. TJ, love you, buddy. Gotta kill ya. And that means, yes, I'm fucking Morley.
Danny, you ready?
Yep. So you know, also married. Just putting out there. I love you, Karan.
This isn't binding. Don't worry.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do the same. Marry Javi. I'm going to kill Worley. And then I don't even know the TJ guy, so it's just a one night stand. So just, yeah, him.
Cool.
That's around the babies. I can't say the F word.
Okay, so I'm going to marry TJ. I know he started a successful business, so that seems like we could maybe have some stability. And then I'm going to kill, I really hate this game. I'm going to kill Javi, even though I do know him and we played on 2 teams together. I feel bad about that. Sorry, Javi. And then I guess I will sleep with Orly because I know I don't know. I have no reason except that he's the last person left and he really wanted to be on this game and hopefully that satisfies him. Okay, you guys, we only had time for one Marry, Fuck, Kill this podcast, but there will be 2 next time. So boys, for the 3 of you who are watching, if you'd like to make requests, you can Snapchat, text me. Before we finish this podcast, I'm interested to know what you guys have. If you had to send off some advice for future kickballers, whether they're years down the road or they're considering playing this next season, you can give them advice about the actual game, advice about how to really handle things, or advice on things that maybe you wish you had done, whatever you come up with as far as advice. For the women who will be the future of it, I agree with Danny. Like, I'm kind of old. I don't know if Danny, if you called yourself old, so I don't want to put those words in your mouth, but I feel, like my body can't take it. So there has to be people who come in and have a little bit of energy and strength to carry on the legacy of women's kickball. Joy, what would be your advice to them?
2 things. Watch tons of film and practice.
Tons of film and practice. I like it. Short and to the point. Joy, you go, girl. What?
Don't listen to the politics. There's still a lot of good players except those top 5 people. So don't get your heads down. You're all beautiful. But for real, no, there's a lot of good players. And yeah, just practice when you can, but most importantly, have fun.
I like it. Danny, what do you say?
Don't join Circuit Kickball Talk. We piss you off, and just have fun.
I like it. Okay.
As one of my old coaches would say, boobs over ball for sure. Make sure you have fun, be aggressive, and take feedback with a positive attitude, because I feel like some of the best feedback I've ever gotten from some really strong players have really made me better and better. And when you take it from a perspective that they're only trying to make you better, you get better. So,
Ashley?
I want to steal little tidbits of what other people have said. Like Whitney said, don't listen to the politics. There's so much bullshit, and you would think that with how much we all talk about it otherwise, this is a women's league, women supporting other women, and unfortunately there's still way too much other crap that goes on. Thankfully, not as much as in co-ed. The boys are next level. But the other thing is, I wish that when I had started playing 365, I would have gone out and socialized more. We do get focused on how tired we are, and if a lot of us, we play co-ed, we have to play 2 days in a row. And I really wish, and I've been trying to be better about it, but I wish that I, from the get-go, had made a better effort about going out and socializing more and meeting people that, I wouldn't get to meet otherwise, because at the end of the day, that's why we do it. Like, we love playing, but we also love making friends that are, obviously, all of us, all over the country. And I just wish I would have done more of it sooner.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where I was coming from. A lot of what Ashley said is, like, meet as many people as you can. I think that it's easy to think that we dislike someone because there's so many talented women that are out there, and when you're in the game, you want to beat them. I've met such cool people that live all over the place. I think that would be my advice, is just like make an effort to meet everyone on different teams, and also to tune into the podcast, because there's a lot of valuable information and people have very good points that they make. And before we sign off, ladies, I'm going to ask you 2 last questions. And you don't have to go in any particular order. Just when you're ready, you can talk about it. First one is your favorite memory from 2017 in a kickball setting. It can be actual in the game or it can be outside of it, but your favorite memory from 2017. And then the last thing that you'll say is the winner that you're going to pick for CCC this year. No particular order. When you're ready, you can go.
No one wants to go first.
I can start. It's fine. I'd say probably my best memory from this past year would be our first championship. I think at that point, I realized how legit we were and how much potential we had to make the run that we made this year. And, of course, shoot it anyway. Shots fired.
Man, your best memory is my worst. My favorite memory was Virginia Beach. First time I had won a co-ed tournament, and then the next day won a women's, and also played both tournaments with the same 5 girls. To call those out: Lisa, Tara, Macy, myself, and Taylor. And it was fun. Played Virginia Beach with people that I hadn't played with before. The house we stayed at was fun. I met a lot of new people that weekend, and I think that's why I still play kickball. And then also got to play with 2 of my boys from Dibs that,
I think my favorite memory from 2017 has to be Portland, both in co-ed and women's. Co-ed, we had a teammate who essentially made a game-winning play to bring us to a limbs, which was awesome, Jeremy. And then for women's, it was our first time breaking the limbs, and I think it really gave us the confidence that we needed going into San Diego to really put up a really strong showing. And I feel like I don't know. What was the other question?
Who do you think will take CCC?
Of course. Gotta go with my girls. I feel like Wildfire all the way. Why not?
I like it.
Well, I'll go next. It's hard to pick one favorite memory for 2017 because I went to so many tournaments, not as many as some. Holy shit. Looking at people's registrations made me feel quite inferior. But, my first tournament of the year, I super random got picked up to play on OPP in New Orleans, and we won the whole thing. And I had obviously never won a championship before, so that was crazy exciting. And then obviously every tournament that I've gotten to play with Lisa Frank this year has been just one better than the next. Unfortunately, I didn't get to play a couple of tournaments with them, like the big win in Denver against Sins. They played well in Portland. Had a tough loss to Wildfire, but, really looking forward to playing CCC with my unicorns. And, I'm going to have to go with Joy. I think Shots Fired is going to win the whole thing. They have been so strong all season, and I would be shocked if they didn't win.
Truth. Very true. The true answer.
My turn? Okay. I only went to 2 tournaments, so my memories are all going to come from Nashville, mainly because I was starting to be really sick, and in co-ed we won, and I think women's we made it to the Final 4, so that was really exciting yet sad at the same time because I knew it was going to be my last tournament for the year. And then I am actually going to go with the Union for winning tournament. I played with most of them some of them when we won the first women's tournament, and I just know how they prepare, and I think that they've lost quite a bit, and I think this is going to really get out there and win.
Did everyone go? Did I miss anyone?
Everybody went.
I think I definitely echo Whitney's sentiment. Winning back-to-back in Virginia Beach with the same 5 girls was really cool. And I'm sorry, Whitney, but beating Mile High in that finals on a Friday night under the lights before everyone had left for the weekend in Portland was definitely a memorable, down-to-the-wire memory. Really awesome. I truly don't mean to make you feel bad. Podcast.
It hits the heart, but I understand.
That was tough stuff.
But that being said, it kind of pains me to say this because we've gone head-to-head so many times, but I think that this is Mile High's year at CCC, mostly because you guys haven't had any breaks this last year. I think you might be the ultimate bridesmaids. And that's kind of how I felt with the past winners of CCC. They weren't really getting those breaks throughout the season. But honestly, the teams that were all mentioned, Union, Shots Fired, my gosh, I mean, Sins all include our team, Colorado Wildfire, Lisa Frank, like everyone that's on this podcast, like there's unbelievable talent. Shots Fired, I'm not sure who could take you down except Mile High and Pure Vengeance for not being able to do it in the past tournaments.
I'd love to watch that game.
Yeah. So anyway, you guys, thank you so much for being part of the first women's podcast for CCC 2017. Thank you for a first ever of helping release the pools on the podcast live. And that's it. If you have anything else to say, now's the time to reach out to all of your fans. But that's it. We'll be back next week with 5 new guests. You guys were awesome.
Thanks, Mace.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.